of a lot. It's kind of a lot. So I spent a grand total of So I've been living in New York for almost a year now, which is crazy to me, and I definitely have my fair share of pros and cons that I've discovered about living here for a while now. And I will say that the biggest con would have to be how expensive it is to live in New York. I love living in New York so much, and I don't think there's anywhere in the world I would rather live than here during this period of my life. So I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons, but it would be so much more helpful to me and to everyone else's pockets if New York was a little bit more affordable. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Bianca, and I am a 24-year-old living alone in New York City. And yeah, I've been here for a while and I absolutely love living here. A little disclaimer before we start, I'm not making this to brag in any way, shape, or form. I just think it's a really entertaining kind of video to watch and very informative as well if you guys are planning on moving out, living alone, moving to New York, or even just visiting New York. At least you guys will get an insight on kind of the day-to-day expenses that people usually have here in the city or that I have here in the city. And also, disclaimer, I am fully supporting myself and fully funding my life. And if you guys are wondering what I do have a marketing thing over here, and also I do content creation. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know a lot of people are probably gonna comment or ask about that. So if you guys are interested in seeing how much I spend in a week as a 24-year-old living alone in New York, then please keep on watching. Alright, so I tracked down all of my expenses on this iPad, and I use the app Notability to track everything. I love using this app, by the way. It's just like a note-taking app that is super duper helpful. You can draw here, you can sketch, you can create different kinds of spreadsheets, to-do lists, and it's just such a great note-taking app. Especially if you're in school, this is like the best. But I also really like using this to organize my life and my weekly expenses. Okay, so I tracked my expenses from Monday to Sunday last week, and also I wanted to factor in the fact that I do have monthly expenses like rent, electricity, my phone bill, and my gym membership. So what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna divide those monthly expenses into 4 weeks and add the amount of that to the final total of my last week's expenses. Okay, I'm kind of nervous because I kind of forgot like what I spent on last week. My biggest thing about living in New York or living alone is that you really have to have self-discipline and budget yourself, because it's so easy to fall into peer pressure over here. Every day there are different things going on and different plans and different things that people invite you on, and you need to learn how to say no. Like, I'm such a spontaneous person and I try my best to say yes to everything, but if I know that it's something that I can't handle on my plate right now, then I will pass up on that and say no. You have to have self-control. Money goes by so quickly here in New York. Like, I step out of my house and bam, I spend money. And also create a set of rules for yourself and for your lifestyle. For example, a rule that I have for myself is I only let myself eat out on the weekends. So for the weekdays, I cook all of my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And sometimes I also eat in the office because we have free food over there. It saves a lot of money just to go grocery shopping and cook your meals. And it's also way healthier. So it's really important to create a set of rules for yourself just to keep yourself accountable and smart with where your money is going. Starting off with Monday, my friend invited me to go to a workout class at Equinox, and of course I said yes because I love going to workout classes, and my friend works at Equinox, so she got to guest me for free. So the first thing I spent on that way was a subway ride to Equinox, and that cost me $2.90. And then I did a workout class with my friend. We did a bar class, and it was so good, you guys. Like, it was a 45-minute class and it was so intense, but I loved it so much. And I also spent $0 on that workout class, so it was really great. And then I was really hungry after the workout, so we went to the Equinox Cafe and I grabbed a breakfast burrito wrap, and that cost me $9.30. Also, I know this is a Monday and I'm spending on food on a Monday because Mondays are technically my weekends. I don't have work on Mondays, so that's technically a weekend for me. And then after that, I had to meet up with my other friend at Soho, so I took a subway ride going there for $2.90. My friends wanted to go shopping, and initially I did not want to buy anything or go shopping, but they were at Forever 21 and they asked me to meet them there. So I walk in the store and it was 50% off the entire store. I ended up buying a couple of pieces for the spring. So I spent a total of $60.50 at Forever 21, which I think was a pretty good deal because I bought like a couple of things. After shopping, everyone was hungry, so we headed to this fries place, and it's just such a yummy fries place. They have such an assortment of dips and sauces. It's so good. So my friend Julia and I split the fries and I spent $7 for that. So my grand total for Monday was $82.60. So the next day was Tuesday, and for context, I start work kind of late in the afternoon at 1 p.m. So I do have the mornings free every day. During the morning of Tuesday, I had to do some laundry. So I went to the laundromat and I spent $9.75 for 2 loads of laundry and drying. While I wait for my laundry, I usually like to chill in this cafe next door and edit a video, work on some emails, just sit on my computer for a while. And I bought a drink over there for $6.25. I was working on this YouTube video and I just wanted to share with you guys this software that I've been using to edit my vlogs. It's called Filmora 13 and I love it so much because it's so user-friendly, it's so easy to navigate, and it's just perfect for beginners or for professionals who really want to just expand and experiment more with different editing styles. Personally, for me, I understand the struggle of starting and diving into YouTube, but being overwhelmed about how to start editing, because I think editing is the most complicated part of starting a YouTube channel. Filmora 13.2 makes it so easy with its AI editing features, and one of my favorite tools that they have is the AI music generator, which allows thousands of combinations of music themes, genres, and categories to allow content creators to generate music exactly how they want to complement their videos. As a content creator, one of the hardest things is finding suitable tracks or music for my vlogs. I love that Filmora has a lot of commercially available or royalty-free tracks that I can choose from. It generates exactly what I need without me having to worry about copyright strikes. From March 14th to March 28th, Wondershare launched a Filmora Virbo AI video challenge where you create one AI video with Filmora and Virbo to win big. Having an editing software that is reliable is one of the most important steps in getting your YouTube videos out and starting your channel. So I highly recommend you guys check out Filmora. It's literally so helpful and user-friendly, and you guys won't be intimidated at all by using it. So I'm gonna leave their link down below. So yeah, definitely check them out because I have been enjoying editing with their software recently. So I just spent a couple of hours editing in the cafe, and then I had to head to the office for my first day of the week at work. Made myself some lunch. I do cook all of my meals for the weekdays at home and bring them to the office, and that cost me $0. I took the subway to work and that was $2.90. And then after work, I took the subway home and that was $2.90. So for Tuesday, I spent a total of $21.80, which I think is pretty good. So the next day was Wednesday. So the first thing I had to spend on was a subway to the Rockefeller because I had to meet my friend there and borrow her iPad. This is her iPad. So thank you, Miss Michelle. So that subway ride was $2.90. And I wanted to treat my friend, so I bought her a little cupcake at Magnolia Bakery and I got her a red velvet cupcake for $4.25. Then I had to head to the office, so I took another subway and that cost me $2.90. Again, I brought food to work that day, so I spent $0 on food. And then my friends slash co-workers wanted to go out for some drinks, so we went out and they bought me a drink, which was so sweet. So I spent $0 on a gin and tonic. Thank you so much, Miss Sky. I appreciate it. After that, I took a subway home and that was $2.90. So for Wednesday, my grand total was $12.95, which I think is pretty good. Okay, moving on to Thursday. So I had to fly to Texas to work with a brand and to go on a brand trip, which is still so crazy to me. Like, I can't believe I got flown out to work with a brand. Like, it's insane to me. My flight going to Texas was at 6 a.m. and I almost missed it because I left my apartment at 5 and JFK is about 45 minutes away from my apartment. So I was like on a time crunch. But surprisingly, we made it to the airport on time and I spent $68.50 for an Uber. I had time to kill, so I picked up an egg and cheese sandwich and that cost me $11.75. So then I hopped on the plane to head to Austin. It was my first time ever visiting Texas and I literally only spent 24 hours there. So upon landing in Texas, I had to buy a lip balm at one of the convenience stores because I left my lip balm. That was $7.57, which was kind of overpriced, but I did have to remember that it was an airport convenience store. And then I took an Uber from the airport to the hotel that the brand booked, and that was $19. And the event was at 11 o'clock a.m. I arrived at the hotel around 10:30 a.m. so I only had a couple of minutes to get ready. So I got ready in the bathroom of the hotel lobby and then took another Uber going to the event place, and that one was $18. So the event place that we stayed in, huge house in Texas, and it was so pretty. There was a pool, there was a backyard, and it was just such a great time. I got to meet a lot of content creators and the team of the brand. We had a bunch of snacks and food over there, so I spent $0 on my food and drinks for this trip, which is amazing. So after the afternoon at the house, we had about 2 hours to kill and to rest, so I took an Uber back to the hotel for $20. Mirror, the shower, to the room. So nice. Guys, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm in Austin. It's my first time in Texas and I'm only here for 24 hours and I fly back to New York tomorrow. Honestly, I get major imposter syndrome whenever I get invited to these things because I'm like, who am I? They also gave me a little gift basket. Snacks! So we have these salted caramel cookies. Ooh, some face masks, headbands, the itinerary. I have some gum. Cute! And then after that, at night, we headed back out. We had to go to this rug tufting class, which was so much fun. Like, I've never tufted a rug in my life before and it was just such a fun experience. But the brand gave us some Uber vouchers, had vouchers to go to the rug tufting class and to go back to the hotel. So all in all for Thursday, I spent a total of $144.70. Moving on to Friday, I had a flight going back to New York at 10 a.m. so I had to take an Uber going to the airport at around 8 a.m. and that cost me $15.99. I had some time to kill and I was really hungry, so I got myself some cauliflower sweet potato tacos and that one was $12.99. It was actually really good, so I really enjoyed that. And then I hopped on my flight to head back to New York, and when I landed, I was supposed to book an Uber going back to my apartment, but it was $98. Like, literally $98 for an Uber. I refused to pay that amount. I decided to take the air train that takes you to Jamaica and then take the subway from Jamaica going back home. So all in all, my trip was $8.25 for the air train plus $2.90 for the subway home. When I got home, I was starving and tired and I didn't have energy to cook. So I pulled the trigger and ordered Uber Eats. I ordered a poke bowl and that one was $21.15. spent a couple of hours resting and watched One Day on Netflix. A couple hours later, my friend Julia asked me if I wanted to go out. A life hack that my friends and I do is we like to pregame at home before going out so that we don't spend money on drinks, or if we do spend money, we just buy 1 or 2 drinks. But yeah, I did do a couple of shots at home, and who am I to say no? It's a Friday night in New York. So I spent $0 on drinks on Friday, which is pretty good. But I did buy a Korean mozzarella corn dog after the night out because I was hungry, and that cost me $7.07. For Friday, my grand total was $79.35. So moving on to Saturday, I have work on Saturdays. So I had to take the subway going to the office, and that was $2.90. Again, I spent $0 on food because I brought my own food to work. After that, I took another subway going back home for $2.90. And then my friend from college was in town, so he asked me if I wanted to hang out and go out at night. So I did, and we hit up a couple of spots in the Lower East Side. So the first spot we went to was Sour Mouse, and I got myself a gin and tonic over there. That one was $14. And after that, we went to Hair of the Dog, and my friend bought us some drinks, which was really sweet. And we also went to La Caverna, where my friend also bought free shots. So that was great. Anyways, grand total for Saturday, I spent $19.80, which I think is really good for a Saturday night in New York. Last day, Sunday, I spent $9.80 on a matcha from Cha Cha Matcha, which is insane. I know, like, I'm kind of like choking at the fact that I spent almost $10 on a matcha, but I caught up with my friend Jana, and then I had to do groceries for the week, so I went to Trader Joe's. So I spent $134.70 at Trader Joe's. And that usually lasts me 2 to 3 weeks, so I think it's pretty good. I had dinner at home, and that was $0. And then my friend was celebrating her birthday, so I took an Uber to Soho Grand, and that was $9.56. And she was so sweet. She treated us to some drinks and some snacks, so I spent $0 on that, which was super sweet of her. And then after that, we headed to Tao and just danced a little bit. I didn't buy any drinks. And then I took an Uber back home, and that was $13.97. So all in all for Sunday, I spent a total of $223.42. Basically, I'm gonna factor in my rent, electricity, phone bill, and gym membership divided by 4 and add it to the total of the week. Whew, okay, this is where the main chunk is from. So my rent a month is $2,500 for a studio apartment in Manhattan. But honestly, I love my neighborhood so much, and I love my apartment that it makes it worth it. So if I divide that into 4, then my rent a week would be $625. My electricity a month averages around $100 a month. A week, that's around $25. My phone bill is $55 a month, so that comes out to $13.75 a week. And my gym membership is $48 a month, so that comes out to $12 a week. So I'm gonna add and calculate all of my expenses. I'm kind of nervous, you guys. I don't want to know. That's kind of a lot. So I spent a grand total of $1,260.37 last week. That is New York, baby. That is New York. Some weeks I spend less, some weeks I spend a little bit more. It just depends on what I'm doing. I hope this video was entertaining and informative for you guys to be able to financially sustain my wants and needs. Living in the city is probably one of the biggest achievements that I've ever made for myself. Whenever I go back home to my apartment after a long day in the office or after a stressful week, I just think how lucky I am to be able to call this place my home and build myself a little life in New York. And I'm very grateful at the end of the day, and I'm very lucky that this is my life. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you guys next week for another video.